Secular Talk is one of my all-time favorite YouTube channels, and still is. For those of you who don't know, it's a left-wing political commentary channel. Anyway, the other day, though, Kyle, who is the host of Secular Talk, made a video that I don't exactly jive with. It was about Twitter supposedly restricting gun free speech by planning on rolling out this feature where you can limit who can reply to a certain tweet of yours. I would get into specifics here myself, but I pulled up an article that explains this whole feature that Twitter is planning on rolling out probably better than I would be able to explain it, so here we go. Speaking today at a CES event in Las Vegas, Twitter's Director of Product Management, Suzanne Z, unveiled some new changes that are coming out to the platform this year, focusing specifically on conversations. Z says Twitter is adding a new setting for conversation participants right on the compose screen. It has 4 options: global, group, panel, and statement. Global lets anybody reply. Group is for people you follow and mention. Panel is people you specifically mention in the tweet, and statement simply allows you to post a tweet with that and receive no replies. No word on whether a statement is also automatically formats your tweet as a classic iPhone Notes app apology, but it should. Z says that Twitter is in the process of doing research on the feature and that the mock-ups are going to be part of an experiment we're going to run in the first quarter. It will take learnings from that experiment and use them to launch the feature globally later this year. Getting ratioed, getting dunked on, the dynamics that happen that we think aren't as healthy are definitely part of our thinking about this, Z says when asked if there's a concern if the ability to limit replies could mean misinformation couldn't be as easily rebutted. Z gestured to the ability to quote tweet as one possible resolution, but it's something we're going to be watching really closely as we experiment. Just as Facebook has been pushing users to use its private groups feature, Twitter wants to give users the option to limit the spread of their tweets. Twitter's solution is a more interesting middle ground between public and private, focused on the distribution of the tweet instead of the permissions to see it. So I'm failing to see the huge issue here. I mean, sure, if one knowingly or unknowingly spreads false information on Twitter, and then a bunch of people are calling them out, they could easily disable replies under that tweet, thus eliminating the ability for people to quickly rebut what they're saying or correct what they're saying, but you still have the ability to quote retweet that tweet and show your followers that this tweet is false, and it's not like you're the only person that can do that. More and more people could quote retweet that tweet and show their followers that this tweet is incorrect, and then those followers will quote retweet that tweet and show their followers that tweet is incorrect, and you get the gist. More people will quote retweet the shit out of that incorrect tweet and still, get a considerable amount of people in the know that that tweet is incorrect and is spreading false information. It's not like one's ability to refute a bad tweet is completely gone here. Will as many people see it as opposed to refutations being already readily available in the replies right below the tweet? Sure, I'm pretty sure not as many people will see that as opposed to just scrolling under the tweet and seeing the replies there refuting that tweet, but still, I'm sure most people, regardless of whether they're seeing rebuttals to the tweet or not, are still going to believe that tweet anyway, because a lot of people are stubborn and want to keep the ignorant mindsets that they hold, no matter how many tweets they may, or no matter how many replies they may see refuting that tweet, they'll still think, oh, those people are stupid, they don't know what they're talking about. And thus, I don't think replies are necessarily an effective way to change one's mind anyway. And plus, if one makes a bad tweet, and then they get called out to hell for that tweet, and then completely disable all replies to that tweet, one can look at that tweet and then notice that notice that replies are disabled, and they might be like, something's fishy here. Something about this tweet definitely isn't right. Something about this tweet definitely really set people off. Maybe I should look into why this tweet is wrong, or maybe I should look into why people are so upset about this tweet. It gets people thinking. At least that's how I am when I notice that comments are disabled under certain YouTube videos trying to make a certain point. Usually when I notice that comments and or ratings are disabled, I think, maybe something the person is saying here is completely off the mark, or maybe they're knowingly spreading false information, whatever the case may be. Something about this video is definitely wrong, and people definitely have some kind of an issue with it, so maybe I should look into why it is that people have such a huge issue with this video. You know, that's kind of what pops into my mind whenever I see comments and ratings disabled on a YouTube video. And I'm sure the same goes for many people, and I'm sure the same will go for people on Twitter. If they see that comments are completely disabled under a tweet, they might go, something is fishy here, something is wrong with this tweet. And I'm sure people will go out and seek out what exactly is wrong with this tweet, what exactly the person said that triggered this kind of response, and thus the person can educate themselves with the correct information. And also, people on Twitter could be fucking vicious and take things way too far. Like, a lot of the times I see on these ratio tweets, name calling, and other nasty, nasty shit being said about the poster of that tweet. And I'm sure one who makes a tweet that gets dunked onto hell, yeah, sure, maybe they deserve it to an extent if they're willingly spreading false information, but I don't think they necessarily deserve a lot of the nasty things being said about them by a whole bunch of people. And naturally, I'm sure a lot of these people don't want to exactly see that in their notifications over and over again, so they're like, fuck this, I'm done, let's just disable replies to this tweet, and thus problem solved. The internet can be a toxic, toxic place with toxic, toxic people. So I can understand why certain people would want to limit who exactly can reply to a certain tweet, especially that tweet is blowing up with a bunch of toxic people in the comments section. And also certain tweets might just be intended to be seen or replied to by certain people, like you could be mentioning a certain person directly in a tweet and you only want that one person to be replying to your tweet for any reason whatsoever. So yeah, there's privacy reasons and such that go into this as well that make me think that this isn't such a bad idea at all, and I think people are freaking out over essentially nothing. This isn't censorship or an infringement upon your precious freedom of speech. This is just a way to curb harassment and a way to allow people to make their tweets more secure and private and allow them to let certain people reply to certain tweets of theirs that they only want those certain people to reply to or a certain person to reply to, and that's fucking it. Nothing to get all upset over, okay? Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.